Hello and welcome to Morning Mindset. My name is Michelle Dale, coming to you from Virtual CoWorking Space, and we're getting back in the swing of things here. Lots of changes coming up. I'm going to talk about those later, later on in the week. But this week we are doing another theme, another topic. Only a few days this week, but it's a good one. It's really about the three changes that I think online business owners, I guess particularly virtual assistants, but just generally online business owners and VAs for their clients as well, should be doing. Welcome, Anna. It's good to see you. So what I want to talk about this morning in particular, or today in particular, because this is where we help virtual assistants to level up in their business lifestyle and mindset, is how you can actually really start in 2025 to simplify what you're doing. And that's what I truly believe we need to do. Now, when I talk about simplify what we're doing, I'm talking a lot about how we systematically approach our online businesses, because online businesses tend to be like shiny object syndrome. And when people come to me to redevelop their business or revamp their business or put it into a new system or a new format or something like that, I'm often faced with a challenge that these people have a lot of different moving parts to their business which simply don't need to be there, but they've been there forever and a day. So everyone goes through this slight fear of change when it comes to technology in their online business. And I get it, because immediately you're starting to think, well, if I change something, I'm going to have to learn something new. Or if I change something, maybe something will break. Or if I change something, maybe I won't like it. But it's very rare these days, especially in this day and age with technology. It's very rare these days that you make changes that aren't beneficial, the changes that you won't like, changes that you won't sit back and go, oh my God, this has just saved me 5 hours a week of my life because I've just made this one simple change. And when you think about it, if you are in systems, and I've had this before, I literally had a client who I could have saved a ton of money for, a ton of time in labor. I mean, sure, there would have been some cutbacks even in, staff required in order to make these changes, because they were so dramatically different that it would have made a difference of thousands of pounds to this client's bottom line. And it was by making one system change, right? One system change. But this client was so married to the system because they had invested a 6-figure sum into this system that they would not make the change. So they invested a 6-figure sum into a system that was really not best for them. And then I could have literally saved them thousands of pounds, potentially in a month. And they chose not to do it because of the idea of what they called losing their investment into the system. Now, what I want to share with you and what I want to help you take forward in 2025, not just with your own business, because maybe you say, well, I've simplified, this is great, but for your client's business, if you get any clients coming to you, particularly corporates, particularly people who have been running their businesses maybe solo for a long time, they're going to be in a situation where it's almost like being stuck in a rut, because they're going to have invested quite a lot into the relationship with the system, whether it be financial investment or learning it and saying, okay, well, I've learned it and I know it now, so I'm not going to change. They would have invested into that relationship. So like anything, if you've invested into a relationship, it's very difficult to come out of it. But then it's like being in a very unhappy marriage, because you don't really love that anymore, and you don't really get on with that anymore, but you know that you've invested so much into it that you just feel like, I'm gonna stick with it. And then it's just like a long-term unhappy relationship. You just stick with it because of that reason, not because you love it, not because it's perfect for you, not because it's perfect for the business, not because it's perfect for all the circumstances, not even because it's financially perfect for you, but you just stick with it because you say, that's what I know. And in 2025, believe me, technology has come along so much. I remember in 2020, like all through 2024, I work in a system called Podia. This is the exclusive system that I work in because I'm a Podia Pro. I love this system. And I switched into Podia when I was coming out of a system called Adobe Business Catalyst, which has a ton of bells and whistles, but they were shutting it down. And I think one of the reasons actually why they were shutting this system down, this all-in-one online business system, is because it got too complicated and it was too financially difficult to come up with the budget to be able to make this viable. It had so much to it, and there are many other systems out there like that, and I can see these many other systems out there like that could potentially end up in the same position as Adobe did when they discontinued Business Catalyst. Because it gets so complex and it gets so intricate, and you try to pack everything into something, you know, like one system, because you want to try and please everybody. And it's not about that. In 2025, for you and for your clients, you want to really look at the needs and the purposes of your business. And that's what I did when I made the change into Podia. And I went through many systems and tried many systems. And I could see these systems had tons of other things going around them. This is why people love WordPress, because it's the plugins. Because people say, well, I can do anything with WordPress because all these plugins. But what they don't know is that it costs an incredible amount of money to do the backups and to fix the plugins that aren't compatible with each other. And then you get into technical issues, which then affects your business. And, you know, like, people don't see that on the front end, but we all see it, the technical people in the back end, because we're the ones dealing with it. So what I want to say to you for 2025 is really look at your online business systems, all of your online business systems. And the reason why this is really coming up for me today is because I've decided one of the systems that I've been using since 2008, and this is why I love online business systems, because when I find one that is perfect, it tends to stick with me. But I'm not open to not changing it. I'm just very aware of the purposes of the things that I need and what's important and what's not. And that's what we need to carry forward in 2025 with online business systems. And you need to really think about what your purpose is for your business, and really like get clear and get a lot of clarity and write down the things that are really important for you in your online business, whether that, you know, like systematically, whether that be online booking systems, whether that be a huge emphasis on a particular type of marketing, whether that be an emphasis on your website and how people interact with your website, or your members area, or your payment gateways, or your shopping cart. And then you have to really get clear on the things that are super laser important within that. Okay, so the laser important things are super amazing and super good within that. And then what I do is I make this big list of my wish list, I call it, like a wish list of these are all the things that I need. And then basically I will at that point look at my current systems and think, is there a way to go around it? And I did that. I've been doing that this month actually in 2024, at the end of 2024. And I've discovered that there is one system that I really do love to use that is great. I have no issues with it, but it's costing me, let's say, actually it's a couple of $100 a month, okay? So I've just realized that I can merge my activity from that system into another system that I already have and I already pay for and I've already been using. So am I having a little bit of resistance because I think, well, I love this system? And yes, I am. But I'm also knowing that as a business owner, okay, getting rid of a system is simplifying my business. It's also reducing the costs in my business. And it's also going to make sure that I am able to, again, merge more things into one so I can have that clarity. within my business. So I am removing one of my systems this year to go into 2025 using one of my other systems. So I'm not switching it out for a different system, but I am letting go of a system where I weighed up the pros and cons, and I know that whilst I do love it, it's not really serving my business. And this is what we need to think about in 2025. And when we look at our systems, we need to look at the purpose of these systems and say, is this system meeting all my purposes? Or is this system also hindering me moving forward? And the thing I love about Podia as a system, as an online business system, and this is why I advocate it and work in it exclusively, and I do migrations into this system exclusively, is because I can look at every feature inside Podia and say, I know how to utilize effectively every feature within this system for the operations of an online business. And because I can do that, I can then hack it, manipulate it, adjust it, and you can simply find ways to do things. And it's interesting because I had a client recently who I'm putting into Podia, and she said to me, like, oh, Podia is really just for product, like an online product system. And I'm like, no, it's so much more than that, because I've really studied this system, and I know that on the surface it may look like this, but behind it there are so many things, if you get creative, you can do with it. And once you get creative with things, you can then start to see, okay, well, this feature is here for this reason, but there are actually 10 different reasons or 10 different things that we can do with it. So what a lot of people do is they go out and look at the systems and think, oh, I need this. And then they'll just go and look out for a system that has that one thing. But you need to really take into account the big picture of everything that you're going to do in the business, of everything that encompasses the business. And once you're able to do that, you need to create that list. You need to then create a plan. And then you need to really switch into the systems that are best suited to that in the long term. Okay, and when I say this, I'm not going to say that those systems will be there forever and you're going to be in them forever. But like I say, my project management system, I did that in the very beginning of my business, and I switched into this Active Collab for the project management side of things in like 2008. I've been with them ever since. The only reason I left Business Catalyst to go into Podia was because they shut it down. I was with Business Catalyst since 2008. And I've been with Podia basically since the switchover. And there is so much that can be gained from getting professional advice about your systems as well. So whether you're a VA who's looking to move people into systems, I would say in that instance and in that case, get very, very clear on the systems that you're going to work in, even if it's just one or two or a couple. It's really important to understand the systems and not keep looking outside with this shiny object syndrome, like understand your purpose and your role as a virtual assistant and learn the systems that are going to help your clients really fulfill their goals in their business. And once you can do that, you can then become an expert in that system, study that system, become particularly good at that system. And when you do that, you will then have a way more profitable business. You will have much more confidence in what you're doing, and your clients will benefit much more because you've studied that system for their benefit. So important. So for 2025, the first change that I'm going to share with you this week is really to study the systems and look at what changes you can make in 2025 in your systematic online business processes. And that's going to be super key into how you move forward, because when you do that, it frees up so much finance, it frees up so much time, it frees up so many things for you to move forward and grow your business, as opposed to dealing and managing technology or staff who are supposed to be doing the managing of the technology as well. That's the first takeaway for today. Go look at your systems, go check them out. And if you want to stay on top of everything that's happening inside Virtual Miss Friday, the systems that I use, from Sunday, we're going to be starting our Sunday online business news here inside Virtual CoWorking Space at 11 a.m. in the morning as our usual morning mindset time. But we're going to be focusing on all online business system updates, news, anything tech related with the systems that I use in my one sourcing. So if you are somebody who's doing one sourcing or following my virtual assistant programs and delivering services to clients using those programs, or growing your own business using the systems that I use in Virtual Miss Friday because you've taken the one sourcing program, then Sundays are going to be just pure gold for you, because I'm going to be sharing with you across the board, across all the technology systems, everything you need to know to stay in the game, to stay up to date, and to be on point with all the changes that are happening in them. So hopefully you'll find Sundays super useful for that. So in the meantime, I will leave you with that. We'll be back here for another change that I would like you to make in 2025 for your online business. And until then, we will do our daily accountability. Thank you so much for being here. It's so great to be back, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual CoWorking Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.